Okay, we've taken a look at some of the basic operations that you can do. Java handles assignment operators. So we'll go with int number. We'll take a look at some of these. 5, 8, 2, 4, 7. Okay. And we're going to reverse this number using assignment operators. Now, technically, this here is an assignment operator. So it assigns the value 58,247 to our number. And what we're going to do is we're going to reverse this. So we're going to reverse the number. And before we do any reversing, we're going to have 0 as our reverse number because it doesn't have anything. Now we're going to do this one digit at a time. So we also need a variable to handle an individual digit. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Step 1, we are going to store whatever the last digit is of number. So we do that by going digit gets the value of number. Now we're going to use modulus 10. So this is the remainder of a division. So if we divided 58,247 by 7, then by 10, we would get 5,824 with a remainder of 7. So modulus only has this thing remember what the remainder of the division is, not the actual division itself. So in this situation, the digit is currently 7. Now, what do we do with this 7? Well, what I want to do is I want to add it onto the reverse. So reverse is going to get the value of reverse plus digit. Okay? So reverse is going to get the value of whatever reverse was plus the digit. So it kind of does this half first. So it does 0 plus 7, and then it stores it, it assigns it to the reverse value. So the reverse value is now changed. Now what do I want to do? Well, now that I've processed that 7, I want to get rid of it. Because I'm slowly going to work through these numbers because there's really no mathematical operation that'll just give you the tens place of a number. So we need to get rid of the 7 so that we can do this again and get the 4. So the way that I'm going to do that is number gets the value of number divided by 10. Now, because this is an integer value, if we divide it by 10, it's not going to be able to remember the 7 that we just would be like 0.7. But it doesn't remember that because it's an integer and it can't process the decimal. So it just becomes 5,824. The next thing that we need to do is we need to multiply. So before, this is kind of part of the next section. Before we put in another number, what I want to do is I want to take reverse and multiply it by 10. So reverse times 10. So what's going to happen is that 7 moves to the tens place. So 7 gets stored on this line of code. And then on this line of code, it's going to move it over 1. So it's going to become 70. Okay. So we're going to repeat this, but we're going to use something called assignment operators. So we're going to do the exact same work using this different way of noting it. So next thing that we're going to do, digit gets the value of number modulus 10. Now this one doesn't change, and I'll point out why in just a minute. Now we're going to use an assignment operator on the next one. So whenever you get a situation where it's like reverse becomes reverse, so like plus something, so we're changing reverse by the amount of digit, you can use an assignment operator. So you can do the exact same thing by doing this: reverse plus equals digit. So what it does is it essentially does this exact thing, but for some people, this is maybe a little bit of a cleaner way of indicating it. I am so used to doing it this way that I tend to do it this way, whether or not there's an assignment operator in the programming language I'm using or not. But Java has them, so we should try to use them. Then number, we can do this because it's number equals number. It references itself divided by 10. We can use divide equals. There we go. Sorry, not number. 10. There we go. So the number will become a version of itself divided by 10. So this is just a different way of noting it. So starting out the next step of the algorithm, I am going to do reverse times equals 10. So what happens here is our reverse becomes 70. We store the 4. Then we add the 4 onto our reverse version. we remove the 4 because this is the second one that we're removing. And then we multiply reverse by, so reverse will be 740, and it will have space for the next digit. So this here, this part of the algorithm is going to process the 2. Then if I do it again, because I've got this organized, this is going to process the 8. And this is going to process the 5. So when we're done, we can system.out.println the reverse. Oh my gosh. I have forgotten. Thankfully, it's not one that I did a copy paste through everything. Left that semicolon off right at the beginning. There we go. So if I do a comparison, 74285. 74285. So I've reversed it. Anyway, assignment operators are, a nice way to, if you don't like this notation particularly, you can do it this way. Sometimes you can, make your code a little bit shorter and easier to read with this, but it's an alternate way of doing these calculations.